What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here. This is your oversized closet-having host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady with a bonus from I'm just kidding, it's just IDontWorkHereLady. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called The Saddest IDontWorkHereLady. Dad Breaks Down in the Bullseye Store. Guys, this is not your typical encounter. And boy oh boy does it come with a story. Okay, some obligatory context. I work school system as a counseling intern, and am basically in the stretch where I am allowed to help with the kids unless I need to direct them to someone much more qualified. Basically, I interact with moody teenagers almost on a daily, but I have developed a method for helping them out when they throw fits. Usually, I simply ask if they are having a bad day. Some kids respond positively to this and admit, yeah, they're having a bad day, and I am in a position where I can let them rant and validate their frustrations. It has led to many a good interaction and continued behaviors from kids that I deal with. On this day after work, I headed to the Bullseye store, grabbing cereal, stuff for lunch next week, one-person meals, you know, the weekly essentials. I am still in my work clothes. Black work pants, a red blouse, and black flats with my lanyard around my neck. I forget to take it off when I leave because I'm in a hurry just to flee the school before the students do. I have my headphones on and they are black and with a wire, so I get where the confusion came from with my getup. I totally do. The Bullseye store managers honestly dress very similarly, from what I remember. Back to the story. I am just humming along under my breath along to my music, trying to remember if I needed this brand of cereal bars or the store brand, when I feel it, the tap on the shoulder. I turn and I see a middle-aged man with bags under his eyes, but he looks cross, like he's about to attack me. I pull down my headphones and that's when he just snaps.
Finally! I've been trying to get your attention. Now can you help me find the organics? If you walk me to it, I won't tell your corporate offices about how lazily you're running the store. God, you're supposed to be helping customers.
I blink and then I say it. Mouth just went on autopilot. I blurt out, I'm sorry, but I don't work here. Sir, are you having a bad day? You honestly look like you need a hug or a break of some kind. His eyes just go wide. And from my own readings on the subreddit, I think for just a moment that I screwed up. I think that he is going to explode. I see red and blue lights in my future, screaming and incoherent babbling and accusations. But no, this man suddenly gets tears in his eyes and he just wipes at them. Yes, it's been a rough couple of days. Huh? Go with it. I am so sorry to hear that. Is everything okay? No, honestly, I just lost my son and my baby. He suddenly melted down and just started bawling and he clung to me out of nowhere. My mind is racing, trying to understand what is happening here. I awkwardly hug him back, comforting him. I am only 22, no kids of my own, but I cannot imagine what it must feel like for a father to bury his own child. After about 10 of the most awkward minutes of my life, he pulls back, wiping his eyes. He apologizes to me profusely, saying that he was still processing everything with his son, and I offer to buy him some hot chocolate from the coffee stand in the store. The man agrees, and we go up. I buy our drinks and sit him down, and he tells me the whole story. His son, barely 6 years old, had come down with leukemia. He had been diagnosed 7 months prior, and the doctors weren't sure if the treatment would work with him. He and his wife struggled because they also had a 2-year-old daughter to worry about and care for, along with their son's medical treatments, and their health insurance only covered so much. They buried him only 2 days prior to this, and he hadn't allowed himself to mourn whatsoever so that his wife could have him as a pillar of support if she needed him. He said verbatim, I want her to know I'm here for her because she needs that more than I do. I sympathized with him deeply, explaining that I had lost my grandfather the same way when I was young, and that the grief had been so sudden and so confusing, it had taken my brother into therapy at a young age. The man explained that his wife had made a list and haphazardly told him to go and get the food. He had never done that before. He usually watched the kids because he worked long hours while she went out and had some time for herself. Hence, he hadn't been to the store in a while and didn't know where anything was. After we talked some more, with me explaining that I didn't work there and him apologizing again, and he calmed down. I offered to take him around the store and show him where the items on his list were. By the time we left and he had calmed significantly, he thanked me once again and left. It was really heavy to take, but here is a small reminder that there is a tiny bit of hope when it comes to trying to appeal to the humanity in some of these people. Obviously, there will always be a Tyrannosaurus, but try kindness first. And our Redditor here has some additional information.
Edit!
Oh my gosh, I am so thankful for the overwhelming positive responses. I am glad to see so many supportive people for the family. I wish I could say more currently, but I haven't run into the dad again, yet, to ask how he's doing. If I do, I will most certainly update. You guys are the best.
Edit!
2. Your responses really do make me tear up and grateful that I posted the story.
Edit!
3. Because I noticed a few comments questioning the story's validity, I'm going to add this and then just log off. First and foremost, I won't post about the students I work with in detail because of both privacy laws that protect them and me. This means that this is my first story, and at the time of writing this, my only on Reddit, and that can be suspect. But I won't violate privacy laws to prove to people that I am real and this story is real. Secondly, the writing style is what it is. I do write on the side, but I wrote this to be both engaging and true to what happened, because I think it keeps people interested in what happened. If every story was cut and dry, any story in any subreddit wouldn't be interesting to read or share with others. Thirdly, this did happen to me, and I wanted to share it because I do believe that this world can be harsh, and because I wanted to share my experience with this man. If people don't believe it, that's fine. You can believe what you like, and I still will wish the best day upon you regardless. Wow, that is so wholesome. Holy Okay, but for real, the Redditor in this story is right. Better writing does make a better story. It makes my job easier because, if something's well written, it's easier to read and it's easier to understand. It's easier to follow along, for those that don't read along, that just listen, which is a lot of you guys. So you learn to appreciate the stories that are written very well, and this one was. And the story itself was really good. Writing aside. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this anymore. I'm just rambling at this point, so moving on. This story's called I Don't Work Here, but I Am Banning You from the Store. This just happened 20 minutes ago, and I'm still laughing about it. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts. I was picking up a few office supplies. I managed 3 restaurants, and one of the office's supplies ran low on staples and printing paper. And the supply truck won't be in till the end of the month. I gathered the items I needed and headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming.
Hey, you!
I look around and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered, and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. Here's the cast.
Screaming customer!
Real employee. Yours truly.
Yes, you! Mr. Manager! Come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and she was very rude and called me some very bad names.
Now, I have read enough of these I Don't Work Here posts and always wondered why no one does this. So I gave it a shot. Is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kinda giggle. No, I just told her I'm on my way home. I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone who would be more than happy and clocked in. When I told her this, she reached for me. I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me, and I never insulted her.
Liar! You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband, he will have you fired if you don't do something about it.
Lady, I am the district manager. I will ask you to calm down. If you don't, I am going to have to ask you to leave the store.
What? Well, I am just very upset, you stupid F-word. It's been most distressful. In all my years, I have never been treated so horribly.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you aren't settling down. I am going to have to ask you to excuse yourself from the premises or be escorted by security. I pull out my phone and speed dial my missed messages.
But my husband?
Go to the customer service desk and page your husband and tell him you'll be waiting outside for him while he does the shopping. Now leave the store immediately. I pretend to talk to security on the phone. Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store. Screaming customer throws what she has on the floor and leaves, screaming and yelling, threatening to sue and shut down the store. I turn to real employee and ask if she's okay. She tells me yeah. She didn't know I was in the store, but glad I was. I hope I'm not any trouble. I just worked a double shift. I just want to go home. I'm extremely tired and hungry. Nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After a second or two, it sinks in what I said and random employee begins laughing uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street and she is welcome to come in and have a free meal on my dime. As I leave for the restaurant, I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying and I figure I better get the hell out of Dodge. Random employee did come into the restaurant to thank me. I told her the offer for the free meal is still good. She took me up on it but tipped the server really well even though it was a free meal. We laughed and talked about the banshee and she laughed even harder when I told her about seeing her sitting in the truck. I told her that this is definitely going on Reddit. Random employee says she loves these posts and will be looking for it. So, hey Kate, if you're reading this, you are Reddit famous now. Maybe someone will turn this into a YouTube video. Well, my good sir, you just predicted the future because yes, this is now in a YouTube video. So congratulations to you and to Kate and your several children to come, because there's no way that this turns out any other way. Also, I must say that was an extremely creative approach to getting rid of that festering Karen. And yes, I do know what festering means. I refer to her as a festering Karen because that is what she is. She is a festering infection upon humanity. Okay, gross. This story's called Early Run and Being a Nice Person. Hello, sorry, this is my first post. I seen a few vids by MK and Dark Fluff. This happened a couple days ago and I was reminded of it a few minutes ago. I watched a video on YouTube when I got in the door, so I decided to share. So at 6:30 a.m., I was up due to not being able to sleep since I play games. My usual thing is to go for a walk or a run and listen to music. But my family gets annoyed when I take the dog at 7, so I didn't take her. I went for a run and walked around my town. I'm dressed in camo shorts, it's winter, I know, but I run in shorts, and a gray Adidas shirt. I'm 5'9" and chubby but muscular legs. So midway through the run, it was a little past 8. I was walking through town when I see this older gent using his lifter dolly, a thing you put boxes on to roll them in and out of a shop from a lorry. I offered to help him get it off the lorry over the curb and up the shop steps. He said that would be great, and so I did. It seemed to be going in a local radio repair store right next to a flower shop. To be honest, I've never seen either before. I said to the guy, does he want help with the rest? Because I'm sure the rest aren't going to be easy. The gent said, if I don't mind, but I can't go into the back of the lorry since it's company property. I agreed and we did this about 3 to 4 times. There was one left which was the biggest and heaviest box. He said to me, we will be going for a ramp and rolling the lorry up. Me being cocky, I said, bring it off the lorry, I'll take it to the curb and lift it myself, and he can just tell the shopkeep we are done. Midway through moving, a woman like 5'3" walks up and jabs a finger into my side. Earphones in, but she could have spoken to me. I told her, ow, wait while I put this down. A bit aggressively, I say, what is it? The woman starts staring me up and down and getting close enough to basically stand on the tip of my toes, and in the most cocky voice says, you are going to help me. Now, I want you to move those flowers into my shop. This lady that can't be in her 40s was trying to force me to help her move a load of boxes and small plants from her car to the flower shop. I said, sorry madam, I don't work for this company and I don't work for you. I'm here just to help this gent. I ignore her and crouch to lift the heavy box, and she jabs her finger into my collarbone and said,
"You lazy N-word.
Yes, I'm mixed race.
Illegitimate child. You're helping the moving company, so just help me."
A second time, I ignore her and go to lift the box. She puts her hand on the box and says,
"You will help me since I'm the landlord of the shop which hired your company and I'm your elder."
I said, "Lady, please step off." I banged the side of the box with my hand and lifted up so the box was onto the dolly, and I pulled it onto the curb and headed into the radio store with it. She shouts that I'm gonna be fired, and then she stomps over to the old guys waiting at the side door of the lorry, who seemed to be the owner, old dude I didn't see was there at the time, and the delivery guy. She starts lying and saying horrible things about me and swearing how I am a lazy and useless worker and how I should be fired. I hear this from in the shop door where we put the boxes. The old guy and the delivery guy didn't say anything for a while, and I walk out. She starts shouting, saying I should help her, and I ask, "Is that all, gents?" Delivery driver says, "No, that's all, you're free." The woman jumps at the chance and says,
"Great, can you help me, you stinky—"
word I don't remember. My response is, "No, I don't work for you and you can step off." Lady starts screeching at me and says,
"You should be fired! And who told you to respect your elders like that?"
As I'm about to say something, delivery driver says, "He doesn't work for me, and you need to learn how to treat people better." The owner says, "Thanks for helping, and by any chance, are you Cecil's grandson?" Her face turns away and walks away. I nodded, and owner said, "My condolences. My granddad was a local milkman and was well known who passed away a year prior. And if I ever want to hear snooker and pub stories, I should just come by and not worry about the bench yelling at me. She's just lazy and wouldn't even lift a finger to help them when they asked." Happily, I shake his hand and left. The reason this is being written was I saw the lady carrying boxes into the shop today, and I ran right past her, and as I did, the lorry driver pulled up and I stopped and I asked if he needed help, and he said not today. Just a few old radios and small fuses. I say aloud, "If no one needs my help, I'll be running on then." And the delivery driver, catching on, just patted me on the back and said go. They include some additional information. I found out why she is scared of my grandpa. It turns out when she was younger, she broke the milk van windshield, got caught and her family replaced it, and a few years later, she threatened my dad, who was the rugby team captain in school, by saying some horrible things and was caught lying while being suspended for it, and her eldest son almost crashed her car into the same van. Dinged the back. My uncle had taken over. This lady, I think, is genetically a bad person. Because yes, mistreating good Samaritans definitely encourages that behavior. Good job, Karen. You're the reason, the very specific reason why the world sucks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.